Everybody wants to know how they can put up a crackling roast pork for Christmas. It's one of my favorite parts of the feast too. Don't worry, I'm going to show you all the secrets that you need to make that perfect roast pork with delicious crackle. I've also got a great side of potatoes and a sticky honey mustard sauce with plenty of herbs. These flavors are delicious with pork. To get the oven ready, make sure the rack is in the center and then set it to 150 Celsius or 130 if you're using a fan-forced oven. While it heats up, you can prep the roast pork. Here we go. Okay, for the rind to crackle, you need the skin to be as dry as possible. So before you start roasting, take some paper towel and just pat off any moisture. Make sure you get as much of that moisture off the pork as possible. Remember, dry skin equals great crackle. You might get pork that's already scored, it might not be. Basically, all you're doing is making those little incisions that have already been made into the rind in some cases. What you want to do is make sure that you can always see them. And what I do is I get a sharp knife and I just go straight on in. You're cutting through the skin and the fat, but you don't want to cut into the meat. A sharp knife is the most important part here. Now, if your pork's already scored, you might want to just go on through and check those scores. Make sure that the score is deep enough, because if it's not, again, you won't get the perfect crackle. That's looking pretty perfect. If you have time, you could even air dry the pork in the fridge, uncovered overnight. That way the rind will get really dry, making it even easier to get that perfect crispy crackling. The next thing you need is salt. Be generous. It's not just for flavor, you're also going to use this beautiful salt to actually draw out the moisture while the pork is roasting. Sprinkle it all the way over. You're actually going to rub it into that pork rind. Now don't forget, you can't season the inside of the pork. Your only opportunity is to season the outside, so make sure you use plenty of salt. I even scrape up the bits left on my board and I reuse that. I don't waste anything. Get the pork into a roasting pan and then into the oven to roast for about 2 to 2.5 hours. Oh, look at this. Now, to test that this is done, you need an instant read thermometer. It's been in for about 2.5 hours, but what I really want is to make sure that the internal temperature is about 50 Celsius. So I'm going to get my thermometer going here, go ahead and probe it into the thickest part of the pork, which for this piece is quite a ways in. So we're just over 50 degrees, so it is perfect timing. Now you'll notice the skin is still very soft, but don't worry, it hasn't crackled yet. We're going to solve that problem. First though, you want to pour off some of this fat. Now the reason you do this is you don't want it to splatter all over your oven. Okay. You can even use a little bit of paper towel and just blot up any of that excess fat. The higher temperature is also ideal for making golden roast potatoes, so we'll get those going in just a moment. First, you need to make the honey mustard dressing. So take yourself a large bowl, a whisk, some orange juice, some lemon juice, some honey. I'm using a Dijon mustard, but if you like spicy mustard, go ahead and use a hot English, up to you. Next, I want some rosemary and some thyme. So I've got the leaves here and I'm just going to quickly chop them. Go ahead and add them to your dressing. You need some salt, freshly ground black pepper, and then you just whisk in that extra virgin olive oil. Then you need to set aside about ½ a cup of this dressing for serving. So get yourself just a little bowl and pour about ½ a cup. The rest, we're going to toss our potatoes. Take your potatoes, toss those into your dressing, and get your garlic cloves, and you're just going to smash them. Pop your knife directly over each clove and just gently give it a whack. Scoop them up and pop them in with the potatoes. And then you give these a little bit of a toss, a little bit of a shaky shake. Don't be stingy with the salt and pepper. Pour in your water. And then you're going to toss all of this into a big roasting pan. Now, when the pork's been roasting for 20 minutes at 250 Celsius with just 10 minutes to go, add the potatoes to the oven. Okay, so you take everything out. This has only been in for about 10 minutes. Once you take everything out, the pork and the potatoes, turn the oven down to 200 Celsius or 180 fan forced, and then cover these potatoes with foil. What we're going to do is put them back in the oven for another 20 minutes at 200 degrees. Whew. That pork is looking delicious. It smells unbelievable in here. means it worked. I'm gonna let it rest on my carving board because it's gotta rest for about 30 minutes before you carve it. Let's have a look at the potatoes. Oh yes. Now, what you do with the potatoes is you just wanna move them around a little bit. You can see they're steamy and hot. And then you get your last little bit of that dressing and just spoon it over, just like that. So the flavor in the potatoes, it's all been absorbed, but then that sauce that now continues to rehydrate them. The flavor of these are just amazing. Okay, I'm gonna spoon them straight into my bowl. No more delaying. It's time to carve the pork. I tell you what, aim for slices about 1 centimeter thick, and I like to go right in between where we've scored the crackling. So then everyone gets a piece of crackle. Is it crackly enough? Oh yeah. You'll see the pieces of string. Just take those off. You can see it's still super moist and juicy. And that's because we cooked it slow to start and then finished it off in that intense oven. And then what I do is I just place those big old slices of pork with the crackling. Then for the finishing touch, take the dressing that you put aside and fold that over the potatoes. I just do the last little drizzle over the top like this. Sprinkle the pork with just a tiny bit of sea salt. Well, there you have it. It's a Greek-inspired roast potato and crackling pork honey mustard sauce. Just wait till you get this on the table. Everyone is gonna love it. Oh, including you.